The entire Percy Jackson franchise has some of the greatest stories ever written, and today I'm going to be ranking each book. This list is from worst to best, so 23 being the worst and 1 being the best. Note that this is strictly my opinion, and I'd love to see yours down in the comments. Also, I won't be going into full detail for all of these books, as I'd already done so in my more in-depth rankings of the other series for the Percy Jackson series, the Kane Chronicles series, the Heroes of Olympus series, the Magnus Chase series, and the Trials of Apollo series. If you want to know my more in-depth thoughts on those books, then you can go check out those videos in the cards linked above. Alright, let's get into this. At number 23, we have The Hammer of Thor. The Hammer of Thor is my least favorite on this list, though even if that's true, I still liked it. I mean, I like all the books on this list, but yeah, this one was lacking polish in terms of just the overall story. Now at number 22, we have The Throne of Fire. The Throne of Fire is an enjoyable novel. I did like the part where the two main characters split up. However, beyond that, I didn't really like it as much as the others on this list. It's better than The Hammer of Thor, though. Number 21, The Dark Prophecy. The Dark Prophecy is a weird one in my opinion. I think it's conceptually one of the best, if not the best written novel out of any on this list. However, I simply didn't enjoy it as much as the others. The other books on this list have flaws that I'm willing to look past because of its great moments or interesting plots, but this one was just kinda okay. At number 20, The Red Pyramid. The Red Pyramid is a good book. Nothing about it I really dislike, though not too much I love about it either. It's a good introduction to the Kane Chronicles, but other than that, it's fine. At number 19, The Hidden Oracle. The Hidden Oracle is low on my list, but I still really like it. It's just a bit of a slow start to a series that I think is so well written. So I recommend this story even though it's near the bottom. In number 18, The Sea of Monsters. The Sea of Monsters is a classic. It's low on this list because it doesn't have as much substance as the others on this list, but it's a classic and I still liked it. Just needed a bit more for me to put it higher on my list. In number 17, The Sword of Summer. The Sword of Summer is a good introduction to the Magnus Chase series. Fun and full of cool new characters, though it's not as memorable of a book as others in this list. In number 16, The Chalice of the Gods. The Chalice of the Gods was actually a very solid book. It's not near the top of my list because it was just a simple story about Percy, Annabeth, and Grover, but it was still very fun, and I'm actually very excited for the other 2 sequels this book will continue upon. Now number 15, The Lost Hero. The Lost Hero is slept on by many people. For me, it's a nostalgic book for being the introduction to my favorite series, Heroes of Olympus, and I love the characters in this book. But yeah, I do think as a story it needed just a bit more polish, but it's still a great setup to an awesome franchise. In number 14, The Serpent's Shadow. The Serpent's Shadow ends the Kane Chronicles series, and yeah, it's the best book in the series. The ending is extremely good, and it had a lot of great moments. There's nothing too terrible to say about this novel, just that the ending itself doesn't stick with me as much as the other series in this list do. Coming in at number 13, The Ship of the Dead. The Ship of the Dead ends the Magnus Chase series, and again, I think it's the best in its series. Like the Kane Chronicles, the ending to this one is extremely good as well, and it's just a little bit more memorable and exciting than the Kane Chronicles ending, but just barely. And number 12, The Son of Neptune. The Son of Neptune ends up in the middle of my list. Honestly, another very underrated book. I really like it because it's just a lot of fun, and I also have a lot of nostalgia for it, like The Lost Hero, but there are still better written books on this list. In number 11, The Sun and the Star. The Sun and the Star is such a unique character-driven story. It's a very nice read with lots of vulnerable moments and great character development, but it just doesn't crack top 10 for me. Almost did, but not quite. Now at number 10, The Burning Maze. The Burning Maze is definitely one of the most impactful novels in the franchise, and it's extremely well written. I wish to put it higher on this list, but the others I just enjoyed more, though this novel is easily one of the best. In number 9, The Lightning Thief. The Lightning Thief is the classic of classics. It's the first book in the Percy Jackson series and was released almost 20 years ago now, and it still holds up beautifully. The further novels in this list have expanded the franchise so well that I do like those more than Lightning Thief. However, the fact that the first ever story in the franchise is in my top 10 should tell you just how great it is. In number 8, The Battle of the Labyrinth. The Battle of the Labyrinth is a special story. Its action and plot are some of the best in the entire franchise, and are very memorable. It's definitely one of the most well-made stories in the Percy Jackson series, so if that's what I think of this book at number 8, then yeah, it just gets crazier from here. Coming in at number 7, The Tyrant's Tomb. The Tyrant's Tomb is a beautifully crafted narrative. I don't think there's a story in the franchise that I connected to more than this one. It's not as memorable or action-packed as others on this list, but man, the characters were just so well written for me here, especially Apollo. In number 6, The Mark of Athena. The Mark of Athena is high on this list. What a surprise! But yeah, it was so close to being top 5. but it doesn't mean that it's not incredible. The quests, action, and locations we visit, top notch. And that ending. The finale to this novel is just so damn good. Now at number 5, The Blood of Olympus. The Blood of Olympus is incredible, and it deserves my top 5. This story ends the Heroes of Olympus series, and boy does it deliver. I know that there's some that have issues with this story, and I've seen all the complaints, but none of them matter to me, because from start to finish, this book was awesome, and that's all I care about. Now at number 4, The Tower of Nero. The Tower of Nero is the needed conclusion to the entire franchise. This book is the final story in the Trials of Apollo series, however it also felt like the final story in the entire Percy Jackson saga. Even though there are other novels that come after it, it still felt like a finale to all our main characters, wrapping up everything so well, and not to mention the actual book itself is just an incredible read. Now in number 3, The Titan's Curse. Titan's Curse made it all the way to top 3, and rightfully so. This book is the tone shifter for the entire franchise, when it was clear that it was okay to take these stories into a more darker path, which works so well for the Percy Jackson stories. I think it's definitely my most nostalgic book out of all on this list for me, and it's one of the most memorable. In second place, we have The Last Olympian. The Last Olympian is considered to be the best novel in the franchise, and yeah, it's not hard to see why. The Percy Jackson series is big, and I guarantee it wouldn't be as big or well loved if this final book in the series didn't work so well. Incredible payoff to everything built up in the books before this. It's just such a grand story. It was so close to being number 1, but alas, only one book could take that place. In the number 1 spot, we have The House of Hades. The House of Hades is the magnum opus of the Percy Jackson universe. When I first read this novel, I devoured it, and it was glorious. Hands down, this is the best story. Its adherence to telling the most monumentally driven narrative within this franchise is a testament to it being in the first place. It's the best, and I don't think it'll ever be beat for me. Every book in this list I love, no matter its placement. But The House of Hades is a clear head above the rest when it comes to me picking up a book, reading it, then putting it down and going, yeah, I enjoyed that. Thanks for watching till the end. Let me know your list in the comments below. Also like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and go check out my channel if you need some more Percy Jackson videos in your life. So yeah, stay awesome, and thank you for watching.